Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, I will show you how to create and customize the view polar and radar charts of Syncfusion, which displays multivariate data in the form of a two-dimensional chart. Using these charts, you can display three or more quantitative variables represented on axes starting from the same point. First, I will show you how to add a polar series chart to a view application. I open an existing view application where I have already added the view charts component. I have imported the chart plugin from the Syncfusion EJ2 view charts package and registered it globally inside the API view.use to register all child directives globally. If you would like to know the basic steps on how to create a view app and add Syncfusion components to it, click the video link in the card above. You can also find a reference link in the description below. I save the application and run it with the command npm run serve. This starts the development server and automatically reloads the page anytime when I make edits on my project. Here, you can see the default chart output with two axes, X and Y, with no data points displayed. Next, I will show you how to add a polar chart to the view app. Before going any further, let me explain what radar and polar charts are. Using polar and radar charts, you can easily arrange different variables with equiangular spokes that start at the center of the chart and end on the outer ring. Here, the January spoke indicates the January temperature value, the February spoke indicates the February temperature value, and so on. Now, let's see how to write the code for adding a polar chart with a line series plotting type to the application. To render a polar chart, first, I need to define an E-series collection tag, which is of type array and can contain n number of E-series definitions inside it. Next, I define a single E-series tag and import the polar series from the Syncfusion view charts package and inject it in the provide option. Then, I set series type to polar. Here, I need to add the plotting type for the polar chart, so I import line series module and inject it in provide option. I define the property draw type and set its value to line. I populate the data in the chart by creating an object variable chart data and assigning an array of objects with two fields named month and temperature within this data method. Then, I assign this object to the dataSource property and map the dataSource fields, month to the XName property and temperature to the YName property of the chart. I am using categorized data for the x-axis, so I need to change the x-axis value to category to display the month values. To use a category axis, first, I import the category module from the Syncfusion EJ2 view charts package and inject it in the provide option. Then, I define the variable chart primary x-axis and set the value type property to category. I assign this variable to the primary x-axis property. Here, you can see the polar chart with a category axis and define data points. In this output, chart axis labels are placed between the ticks. If I want to place the axis labels on the ticks, then I define the label placement property and set its value as on ticks within this chart primary x-axis variable. Look at the chart output now, displaying the axis labels on the ticks. Okay, now let's customize the y-axis of the chart with a custom range and label format to display our data points more clearly. To do this, first, I define a chart primary y-axis variable and add the properties minimum, maximum, and interval with appropriate values to set a custom range for the chart. Along with these, I am going to display the temperature value in Celsius format by customizing the label format property with the template value. I assign this variable to the primary y-axis property. So here, you can see a polar chart with a custom range in the y-axis, from -25 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius with an axis interval of 10. Alright, now I will set the main title for the chart. I define the variable chart title and set the title to weather statistics. Then, I assign this variable to the title property of the chart. This change is reflected in the chart output. Next, let's enable data markers on the chart to display information about the data points. First, I define the variable chart marker and set the visible property to true. I also set a custom height and width for the markers. Then, I assign this variable to the marker property of the series. You can see the chart displayed with a data marker for every data point. Now, let's make the polar chart more interactive by adding tooltips to it. First, I import the tooltip module from the Syncfusion EJ2 View Charts package and inject it in the Provide option. Then, I define the variable chart tooltip and enable the tooltip by defining the enable property as true. I assign this variable to the tooltip property. So, you can see in the output here, tooltips shown for every data point. So far we have seen a polar chart with the line series plotting type. Let's see how to change the series plotting type. The Syncfusion View Polar Chart offers many series plotting types, like line, column, area, and stacked area. Now, I am going to render the polar chart with the column series plotting type, so let me import the column series module from the Syncfusion EJ2 View Charts package and inject it in the Provide option. Then, change the draw type to column. To make its appearance more appealing, I remove this chart marker section from the chart. Here, you can see the polar chart with the column series plotting type. Next, we will see how to add a radar chart with the line series plotting type. To add a radar chart, let me import the radar series module from the Syncfusion EJ2 View Charts package and inject it in the Provide option. Then, set the chart series type to radar and the draw type to line within the chart code. As I am going to display the line series plotting type, I add the marker property inside the chart marker variable. Now, you can see the chart output with the radar chart. Here, by default, the start angle will be 0 degree, and the radius of the chart will be 100. If I want to customize the chart start angle and radius, then I can add a start angle property and set its value to 45 within the chart's primary x-axis. Along with this, I define the coefficient property as 70 within this chart primary x-axis variable. Now, you can see that the radar chart has a customized start angle and radius. That's everything about the Syncfusion View radar and polar charts. In this video, we saw how to render radar and polar charts with basic features like data markers, series plotting types, and tooltips. In my upcoming videos, we will learn about the chart axes. If you would like to see a working example from this video, you can download one from the GitHub link shared in the description below. I have also included a link in the description where you can check if you qualify for our community license, which gives you a free license key for our entire View component suite. If you found this video useful, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.